Afternoon fade, time to press play. Let's say what's real TV, lead the way. Got my own 2 cents to drop on the recap. Every single word, yeah, I'm here for all of that. So feel the vibe, let the music take you slow. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let the comments flow. Hit that little bell for the notifications. That sassy vibe for your soulful station.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, Say What's Real TV. We are back with another review for Tyler Perry's Divorce Sistas. This is season 1, episode 14, Honesty Hour. So we pick up where we left off with Hakeem attempting to take Franklin out. And you quickly realize that Hakeem is not the man for the job. Franklin starts talking Japanese. He's just a yapping and a yapping. He's turning his back to Hakeem. He has time to take his jacket off and take 2 shots of liquor, and Hakeem has yet to pop a cap in this man's behind. But Franklin has already figured out that this is all Naomi's doing and peeped that she tried to go 3 hours away to Grayson's school so she can create an alibi. And he said to Hakeem, I had hoped you at least got some coochie. Basically trying to say, because you're not getting any money. And he told him he would give him double of whatever she was supposed to be giving him if he just didn't go through with the plan. And he made sure to put into Hakeem's head that Naomi probably was going to frame him. So Franklin tells him, just think about it. What did she say to you? That I abused her or that I SA'd our son? Like she's a effing liar. So obviously she said this before, and Hakeem know he is not lying because that is exactly what she told him. But he's standing up there looking and sweating and looking and not saying a mumbling word. So Franklin was like, come on, do what it is you came to do. So they get into this intense face off with Hakeem holding a piece up to Franklin's chin. And I'm like, boy, please, we know you didn't do a damn thing. So we skip over there to Grayson's dorm where him and Francis just so happen to be looking at Franklin's security cameras when they see Hakeem running across the lawn. They have no clue who it is, but they're talking about calling the police. And then all of a sudden, Grayson becomes Columbo and says, I know this is my mom's doing. She has something to do with this. We then see Hakeem call Naomi, letting her know that the job was done and he's looking for his money. She's telling him he'll get it. She's out of town. He can't come get it tonight. He's getting mad, saying she's playing games. So then she's talking about she needs some type of confirmation. She hasn't seen anything on the news. He's like, well, of course it's not on the news because it just happened. And he says, what, you want some type of picture? And she was like, don't send me that ish. So he says her name and she's like, oh, so that's what we doing, and calls out his whole government, Hakeem Nicholas Watts, and basically just hangs up in his face. And now he is PO'd. But Naomi didn't give a damn. She over in her hotel room getting her dominatrix on with some random on the floor tied the hell up. The same way she had Hakeem when he first came to her house. So then we get a ridiculous scene where Grayson and Francis, they go over to Naomi's and she answers the door half naked and doesn't try to cover up at all. So he's in there acting all frantic, saying he can't contact his dad. He's showing her the footage from the cameras and wondering who the guy was. Naomi is like, I don't know. And basically he accuses her of knowing who it is and having something to do with the guy being there, and says that he's not dumb. He knows that she's there because she needed an alibi. Naomi really couldn't be bothered with these accusations. She was telling him, stop being dramatic, calm down, just wait for your dad to come home, and said she didn't do anything. And he says, oh, you think I'm stupid? I'm calling the police. Next thing you know, the little guy on the floor that was tied up, now she has him covered with the comforter from off the bed. He starts making a little noise and Grayson pulls the covers back and was like, what the hell? Next thing you know, him and Francis was getting the hell up out of that room quick and in a hurry. So we go over to Bridget's house and she's in her kitchen washing dishes when Vaughn comes in there taking his jacket off, and she wants to know why he's still there, and I want to know how he's getting in and out of her house because she never seems to be concerned about that. Like, did you not get your key back? And if not, why didn't you change your locks? But anyway, he's trying to use her for somewhere to lay his head, talking about he's scared that they're going to arrest him. So she brings up Calvin's raggedy key and tells him if he finds it, Calvin will drop the charges. Of course, he continues to play dumb and acts like he doesn't know anything about this key. So she sends him to the laundry room and somehow he magically finds it. My thing is, why is Vaughn's clothes still at your house? house, dirty or clean. All of that should have been put in a garbage bag and thrown on his mammy's porch, if you ask me. But anyway, the mystery of Calvin's key has finally been solved, and I am so happy because I am tired of hearing about it. So she made him leave, told him he had to go. He was trying his hardest to stay, but she stood her ground and she put him out anyway. She then calls Calvin to let him know that she has it, and of course he's happy about it. She tells him she'll give it to him tomorrow at church. He's like, oh no, I need to come get it tonight because these machines are backed up. And I'm like, Calvin, you think you're slick. What machines exactly are you talking about that are backed up, sir? You can wait. As a matter of fact, I would have never made the phone call. I would have just handed him the key the next morning. But Bridget, she went ahead and allowed him to come and get it. So when he gets over there, she gives him the key and he's so grateful to have it back. But now all of a sudden he wants to have a conversation. So he apologizes for being all up in her business. And he's getting ready to say something else, but she cuts him off saying, I know you're not getting ready to ask me out and you're married. He's like, I wasn't about to do that, and I know I'm married, but you know I'm getting ready to get a divorce. And Bridget just looked at him like, okay, Ann, like what does that have to do with me? He wants to know why she's so cold, and she pretty much tells him she is not interested. It's everything about him she does not like. So as she's telling him to leave, the next thing you know, somebody bursts through her door confronting Calvin, saying that she knew he was cheating, and instantly started calling Bridget all out of her name, saying she was the one that's been calling her house. And I'm like, Calvin, who do you have calling your house? So Bridget was like, you better tell her, you better tell her. And the lady over there ranting and raving, and she picks up a vase and breaks it. And I'm like, Bridget, this is where you should have been on her ass, because you have now been totally disrespected for somebody you don't even like. So as Calvin is trying to intervene, she is yelling and screaming to Bridget that she'll be back, like she's gonna kick her behind. And Bridget yells back, I'll be here 3:04. And I'm like, okay, hold on, let's push pause. First of all, Bridget was a little too calm for my liking, especially you calling me out my name and coming in my house breaking up my stuff. Like, no ma'am. Rashida, Jeff, or somebody would have had to come down to the jail to bail me out. And this is why you should have protected your peace and just took him the key the next day. Number 2, Calvin said the lady's name was Annette, so I'm assuming this is his wife, but my thing is, when she came in the door, Bridget said, who is this? Now, Bridget should know who his wife is, because when Myron said that the two of them were getting a divorce, Bridget said, oh, but they look so happy together. So wouldn't you know who his wife was? So I'm confused. But nevertheless, we go over there to Jeff and Rashida's house, and everybody finally makes it from the car ride. And Jeff wants to know who's going to speak first. So William says that he'll go first, but all he wants to know is why. So Jeff over there delaying this whole process because now he wants William to clarify his why. And I'm like, well, why does he have to do all of that when he just poured his heart out at the restaurant? It's time for Geneva to start doing some talking. So William, he proceeds to clarify whatever, and he brings up her cheating again. And I felt like Jeff was playing in his face like, well, you don't know that for sure. The test results aren't back yet. And I'm like, well, the doctor said that there's no scientific way he can be the father. So what else more do you need to see, Jeff? And William had to remind him that the blood tests don't lie, and all of them need to touch and agree that this whole IVF mix-up was a lie. So then Jeff looks at Geneva wanting to know what she had to say about it, and she starts looking and shaking and blinking at Rashida. And I'm like, no, why are you looking at her to try to bail you out? So Rashida says to her that no one is forcing her to do this, and I'm like, well, what are you guys there for? What is the point? The whole purpose was for her to come there to talk. You could have ended this at the restaurant. So Geneva decides to say that Anika is your daughter, still lying. So William was like, look, I already know all that. I just need you to come clean for once. Damn. So Jeff was like, we don't use that type of language in this house. And I'm like, Jeff, please, did you forget the words that you were using just the night before when you had last jacked up on that wall? It's the hypocrisy for me. So William says, well, why did you bring me here? Because he had already told you that's why he didn't want to go to the church, because he knew he was going to be cussing and fussing. And you, Pastor, suggested a place for him to be able to do that. So let the man talk. Damn. So Jeff tries to calm him down, saying that I know that you're upset. William says, if you think this upset, you ain't seen nothing. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see that. So he says, I have been trying my hardest to figure out who this person is. So he tells Geneva, it's that dude that's at your office. And I guess he's talking about the Quincy guy that he told Jeff about. And I want to know, why is he so adamant that it's this guy? But all I can say, Quincy must be over there looking mighty good for him to feel some type of insecurity to make the accusation. And I'm like, William, do not give her a scapegoat. Don't throw out any kind of names or whatever. Let her tell you who it is. Rashida, she cutting her eyes over there at Jeff looking crazy, and Geneva starts shaking like a leaf like she got Parkinson's, looking at him like, what the hell are you talking about? He then tells them how Geneva went over to the yoga lady studio trying to dig up information to try to catch him into something. And after that, William then proceeds to use Rashida as a punching bag, directing his anger towards her, saying that he knows she knew the truth the whole time, and what kind of pastor is she to allow him to sit there and suffer. So of course Jeff jumps in and said, we didn't bring you here to suffer, we're just trying to work through this. William doesn't want to hear it. He like, look, I'm not working through nothing, I just want some answers. So this is where they start doing the whole let's take a different approach situation that Rashida was talking about just last episode. Like, let's come at Geneva in a more gentle, kind, vulnerable way instead of the rah-rah way. So Jeff proceeds to start asking him questions like, tell Geneva what you love about her. So they get into all of that. So then they go back. They go way back down memory lane to the point where they're telling us how they met, how she hit him on a bicycle, went to the hospital with him, never left his side. And for a moment, the mood was lightened up a bit. People were laughing, chuckling, enjoying the moments, and you can tell that this method works because the layers have been peeled back from Geneva a little bit. You see her very vulnerable. She's over there sniffing and snotting, and apparently it gets to the point where she can no longer take it because she ruins the mood and mumbles, "You're not Anika's father." There was a hush over Jerusalem. You can hear a pin drop, but William says, excuse me, what did you say? She repeats it, "Anika is not yours." And you can tell that this information hit him like a ton of bricks, even though he already had it in his heart. But to hear her say that, Ron Rico did an excellent job displaying how he actually felt. He started crying. He got into his bag with it. He looked at her. He was like, well, so you slept with someone? And she admitted it. But it was when he whispered to her, who is it? Was very scary, if you ask me. And she told him, I can't tell you that. He asked, does he know the person? And she wouldn't tell him. And I'm like, that should be your answer right there. For her not to tell you, that means yes, you do know the person. And he had one last question for her and wanted to know, do you love him? And her silence was very loud to him. And he says, I'll take that as a yes. I'm done. He was so hurt. He got up and he stormed out of the house. Jeff went behind him trying to stop him, telling him to wait. You can hear it in his voice. You can hear the cracking and the pain. What am I waiting for? I got all the answers that I need. Jeff, he kept offering to take him home, like, don't leave like this. And William insisted that he was going to walk. So back inside the house, Rashida and Geneva are having the same conversation that they always have, with her telling Geneva she needs to tell the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And she needs to hurry up and tell Tiffany because this lie is not only affecting her marriage, but also her friendships, and she is basically done with it. While Geneva is sitting over there with those crocodile tears talking about she just doesn't know how to say it. But when you're mad and upset and got an attitude with somebody, you know what to say then and how to say it, so figure it out. So now she's asking Rashida to go outside to see if William is gone because she's ready to leave. I guess she's scared that he's going to beat her behind if he catch her outside. So when Rashida gets outside, Jeff was like, well, what do you think? And she says, this is all a mess and I can't do it. So she tells him she needs to take a ride. She don't know where she going. She just getting the hell away from there. So in the next scene, we see William has made it back to Coleman's, and this time he's at the bar area where John is working. And all I'm going to say about that is I know doggone well Rashida and Jeff does not live in walking distance from Coleman's, okay? But I digress. So William and John, they start chopping it up about the dinner, how tense it seemed. So John low-key tried to pump William for some information about Tiffany moving on with Javon, and William tells him that Javon is a friend of his, for now, anyway. And he doesn't know how serious him and Tiffany are because they just started, and you would need to go and talk to her about it. So now all of a sudden he doesn't want to ask Tiffany about her business because they're divorced and he doesn't care. But sir, if you didn't care, you wouldn't be asking questions about it in the first place. Now, I'm wondering if John is getting ready to be a problem because it's given that now that he's seen her with somebody else, all of a sudden he's interested. So William mentions that he is headed for a divorce and he wish he didn't care so much. John offers up some sympathy and asks him, did he want to tell him what was going on? And William was like, no, like I'm not finna tell you my business. So John gives him a drink on the house. So he sees a lady at the end of the bar and he was like, who is that? John was like, oh, nah, you don't want to do that. She's a hooker. William didn't give a damn she was a hooker. He was like, oh yeah, I want to do that. So he went on down to the end of the bar, introduced himself. She said her name was Helena. He says, look here, I want to F. Straight to the point. I want to F. She said, oh, you're rude. He was like, look, I'm a little bit drunk and impatient. So what's up? He said, that'll be $1,500. He was like, let's go. You ain't said nothing but a word. So we jump over to Rashida taking this ride of hers and ending up in front of Tiffany's house and leaving her a voice message to pick up the phone. Otherwise, she was going to come inside the house. She sees Geneva pass by and calls her and makes her pull over and goes and get in the car with her. So again, they pretty much have the same conversation that they've had in the past several times already. But Rashida is there in front of Tiffany's house because she wants to talk to her and let her know that Javon is not who she thinks he is and that she should slow down, which she's already told her that before. Geneva is there because she wanted to see if Javon's car was in Tiffany's driveway. So they basically have that conversation how he's just playing to both of them. He doesn't really care about anybody else. Geneva over there talking about she knows all of this, but he's her soulmate and nobody knows him the way she does and all this crazy mess. Like no one cares at this point, okay? So Rashida asked her, what if Javon really likes Tiffany? And she flat out say, no, that's not possible because Tiffany is not his type. Oh, because we used to live on the edge. I guess basically trying to say Tiffany is a plain Jane and just simple, like she wouldn't possibly do the type of stuff that they were doing. So Rashida was like, girl, this is really bothering you, ain't it? So now she's ready to go, talking about she has to go home. It's getting late. And Rashida was like, well, don't stay out here too long because it's giving creep. And I hope your car died in these people's driveway. So she gets out the car and she leaves. So while all of that is going on the outside of Tiffany's house, on the inside, her and Javon are getting ready to get busy until she has this epiphany that, look, we need to slow down. And she goes on to say how she hasn't been touched, this and that and the other. Same thing she said before, that she thinks they should take it slow and she's going to want him to leave for the night. And he says, look, that's fine if you want to slow down, but I'm going to continue to date you, love on you, all the good things that I've been doing. So he does agree to leave, but not before giving her some of that good wood and tongue. So after they're done, he's letting her know, look, I'll be seeing you in the morning for breakfast, this and that and the other. She walks him to the door and he leaves. So when he gets in his car and he pulls off, we see Geneva still sitting in her car, waiting and pulling off behind him and honking her horn for him to pull over. So he pulls over, she gets out and goes to get in his car. And I'm like, Geneva, what if he had stayed overnight with her? Were you going to sit in your car all night till the next morning? Like, really? So she starts questioning him about how long he was in there. And he's wondering, why were you waiting? And told her, I like to take my time. And that made her mad. So she goes into the whole, why are you doing this? And he's like, doing what? So she says, you want me. He said, that was past tense. I did want you. Tiffany is effing great. And she says, oh, well, you're not even feeling her like that. He says, that's not true. We are digging the F out each other. As these two get into this heated argument back and forth. So Javon's main thing is, why are you so concerned with what I have going on with Tiffany when you have a whole husband at home? And she really can't answer that. She's just sitting here playing games, if you ask me. She doesn't have these men wrapped around her finger like she wants to, and she is losing control of what she thought she had. William then went astray, and now that Javon just may be into Tiffany, she is becoming unhinged. So he says to her, you leave William and I'll leave Tiffany, and we can raise our daughter together. And she's acting like she can't do that. So he's saying, why is this so hard for you? He's getting pissed off all over again. And he basically tells her to get the hell up out of his car and said that it wasn't going to work between the two of them anyway, not after what he just did inside with Tiffany. So she's like, why are you rubbing it in? He was like, I just got through doing that. So she hauled off and slapped him. I'm like, woo, child. This lady gets so mad. She starts yelling and screaming in this man's face like, go to hell. I'm going home to F my husband. I'm effing never leaving him. And Javon is over there like, I'm right behind you. Good luck with that. And that's not news. She was hot. She couldn't even get out the car. Like, let me out this car. I'm like, girl, go home, Geneva. Go home. I want you to. So when she gets out of his car, Javon beats up on the steering wheel like he's frustrated. Like, I don't know if he's torn between Tiffany and her or didn't want to make Geneva as upset as he did. So we go back inside Tiffany's house and she finally answers the phone for Rashida and she tells her she was trying to get in touch with her because she wanted to talk to her in person about Geneva. Tiffany then says that she just got a text from John a few minutes ago that William left Coleman's bar with a hooker. So some kind of way that triggered her to tell Rashida how her and Javon was trying to make John jealous by playing all in his face. And I'm like, see, you still think it's cute. And again, same thing that make you laugh gonna make you cry. So once again, Rashida is trying to tell Tiffany that she needs to take it slow with Javon. And Tiffany was like, well, that's you and Geneva both saying the same thing, but the two of you are not giving me a reason why I need to take it slow. So then I'm good. And Rashida was like, well, I feel like Geneva should be the one to talk to you about it. And she's like, look, clearly the two of you are hiding something from me, so I'm going to bed. And the two of them basically say their goodnights. So when Rashida gets off the phone, Jeff wanted to know what all that was about. And Rashida tells him that Tiffany's ex, John, texted her to let her know that William just left the bar with a 304. Jeff did not want to be bothered with any of that gossip. He said he was done for the night because it was already too much. So after witnessing everything between William and Geneva, Rashida is now questioning her marriage with Jeff and she's asking him like, are we good? Like, are we okay? So Jeff is asking her like, where is all this coming from? Like, is there something you want to tell me? Like, we're good. Everybody goes through a rough patch at times. So because she doesn't want to be blindsided, Rashida tells Jeff that if he ever decides he want to be with somebody else, just tell her. So he says to her, oh, so you really want me to be honest? And she was like, oh, I knew it. He says, well, there is another woman I want to be with. And of course, they leave us hanging like they did Denise and Myron. But we already know that Jeff just trolling her and basically probably talking about Dirty Red or Big Red or whichever one of those was her name and want her to get naked and get to popping up in that bedroom because they supposed to be hunching anyway. So we go over there to William and Geneva's house and he's in there with Helena. They're on the couch jamming a key sweat drinking and he's like, take your clothes off, and she's like, slow down. He's like, look, I'm paying for this. I don't see why I can't get what I want. So she was like, pay me. So he gives her the money. She snatches an extra $1,000 and he's like, I know this getting ready to be good. That's $2,500. So she was asking him where was the bedroom and he says, we're going to do it right here, but felt the need to tell her that he texted Nanny to tell her to go home and that Anika was upstairs asleep. And that's the part I didn't like. So anyway, she starts taking off her clothes and he starts unbuckling his pants and I guess they do whatever it is they did. So the next thing you know, they're done. She's putting her clothes back on and he's buckling up his pants. In walks Geneva. William turns around and he just starts laughing. I'm like, William is so funny. Geneva starts taking off her shoes and the next thing you know, she is hurtling over that sofa like Lola Jones. And that's where the episode ends. Woo, child, things are really heating up. What do you guys think Geneva is getting ready to do to Helena and William for that matter? Will she try to unalive William? Because, hey, you got another woman in my house with my child upstairs. That might be grounds for an unaliving. I don't know. I'm just saying. Do you guys think that Jeff was over there trolling Rashida or was he being honest? And do you guys think that Hakeem actually completed the plan with Franklin or is it all one big setup and he's gonna go to Franklin's side and set Naomi up? Drop down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let me know what you thought about this episode. And as always, you guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.